Good evening, South Mississippi. Meteorologist Taylor Graham here, joining you from the newsroom tonight, giving you all the latest on our forecast. As you probably already could tell if you tried to tune in this evening, we did not have an early evening newscast due to college football once again, but we do have a lot to talk about in terms of the weather. And starting off with today, it's been very warm, even slightly muggy at times, especially this evening. I just went out and grabbed some dinner. I could tell that it felt a little humid, a little muggy outside, but that is going to change quickly in the next, I would say, 12 to 24 hours. It's going to be much drier in terms of the humidity, and things are going to be turning much colder Sunday night into Monday, and especially Monday night into Tuesday. But we'll go ahead and talk about what's going on right now. Well, pretty warm for November standards. In fact, 72, that's our average high for this time of the year. Obviously, we've been well past the sunset at this point, but we really have not cooled down too much. We have a dew point of 69. We've got plenty of humidity in the air. You can certainly feel it. And that's going to be the case throughout most of the evening. Taking a look at some of those other temperatures across the area, we're still in the upper 60s and low 70s. We are, for the most part, warmer than where we were at this time yesterday. So throughout the rest of the evening before midnight, and even a few hours after midnight, it's going to stay mild, a little muggy, temperature staying in the upper 60s, low 70s. However, we've got a cold front on the way. That's going to be moving in early Sunday morning, possibly right around the sunrise. And just a heads up that ahead of that cold front, we could see a broken line of showers very early Sunday morning. Notice there on that tonight forecast at 6 a.m., winds will be out of the west and northwest. Once the front moves through completely, we're really going to see winds pick up out of the north and northwest. And so tomorrow wraps up day 2 of Peter Anderson Festival. Well, it's really going to be breezy. That's one thing that's really going to be impacting a lot of those tents and vendors. So a heads up on that. Rain is not going to be an issue tomorrow for the Peter Anderson Festival, but it is going to be pretty breezy, especially by the afternoon. Temperature-wise, pretty nice. We will be topping out in the upper 60s and low 70s. It's not until Sunday night that colder air really settles into the Gulf Coast. As for tomorrow, other than the breeze, it's going to be a nice day. And again, with the breeze, it's going to feel really nice. I just know with all of those vendors out in Ocean Springs, that may be causing some problems. But at least too, rain not going to be really impacting Peter Anderson Festival. That being said, we could see a few broken showers early Sunday morning. Doesn't look like they're going to be amounting to much. Where's the cold front right now? Well, it's still a good bit to our north and west, but the air is much colder behind this cold front, especially in the parts of the northern plains. I'm going to widen this out a little bit. We can see up into the northern plains, even in parts of the Midwest, we've got some 30s, some 40s, and we are going to be seeing temperatures like that by Sunday night and also by Monday night. We are going to be dealing with some weather whiplash over the next couple of days. Now, obviously right now along the Gulf Coast, nice and mild. We have some temperatures mainly in the 70s, but that colder air, that's going to be rushing in by tomorrow night. So playing this out on Futurecast, again, could see a few showers ahead of this cold front very early Sunday morning. This is stopped at about 4 o'clock in the morning. Once the front pushes through completely, winds will quickly shift out of the north and northwest. That's going to usher in some much drier air. That's going to be something more noticeable tomorrow morning rather than the cooler air. The humidity is going to plummet tomorrow. We have some much drier air on the way. So temperatures in the afternoon still going to be topping out upper 60s, low 70s. It is going to be breezy. Lots of sunshine expected tomorrow. Then as we get into tomorrow night into Monday, this is the latest run of Futurecast. It's showing low temperatures in the low to mid 30s. If that were to pan out, I would say plants need to be protected. Now, regardless, people and pets need to be protected from the cold. Sunday night and into Monday. And in fact, Monday night into Tuesday, we're looking at temperatures more so in the 20s and 30s. Again, it is going to be breezy tomorrow. We're looking at winds picking up out of the north and northwest. We could see some gusts over 20 to 25 miles per hour. When you consider that it's still going to be breezy on Monday morning, that's going to make it feel even cooler. I would say the wind chill Monday morning likely going to be in the 20s. And we're going to stay pretty breezy as we head into Monday afternoon as well. And Monday afternoon, guess what? We're only topping out in the low to mid 50s. It's going to be a very chilly day, especially for us where we're not as acclimated to it. So Monday, maybe a bit of a shock to the system. So these are morning low temperatures expected right now for Monday morning, right around the sunrise. Wouldn't be shocked if we had some mid-upper 30s along the coast. Mid-30s are looking very likely further inland. So with us getting that close to freezing, I do highly recommend protecting your plants, any of those plants you like to keep. And of course, people and pets need to be protected. If you haven't turned the heat on already in your house this season, I would say Sunday night, Monday night, those are going to be the nights where you probably need to turn the heat on, especially Monday night and into Tuesday. At that point, the wind is going to be calmer, the sky is going to be clear, and with the air being so dry, it's going to be very easy for temperatures to drop quickly. So Tuesday morning, right around the sunrise, we're aiming for low temperatures on the coast, low to mid 30s. Mid to upper 20s are going to be possible farther inland, especially the closer you are to the Pine Belt. Now, in terms of protecting pipes, not necessarily a bad idea. Now, this is maybe not going to be cold enough for long enough to where I expect this to be a big pipe bursting freeze, but not a bad idea if you live farther inland or especially in some of those river basins to maybe go ahead and let your pipes drip overnight. That's not going to be harming anything, I would say. So this is kind of on the edge for some of our inland areas. Coastal locations still looking at the low to mid 30s, not as concerned about pipes, but people, pets, plants certainly need to be protected Monday night and into Tuesday morning. So I know we've been hearing this before, really is going to be weather whiplash over the next couple of days. Now with that wind picking up on Sunday, just a heads up that a small craft advisory will be going into effect Sunday afternoon, and that should be lasting throughout Monday as well. So small craft advisory is going to be in effect Sunday and into Monday with that wind out of the north and west. I would say seas are probably going to be higher than what we have predicted now. I wouldn't be surprised if seas need to be bumped up a little bit more. And check out Monday with a high of 54 over the Sound. So if you have plans to head out to the barrier islands on Monday, just keep in mind it's going to be very chilly and very breezy. As for offshore areas, also expecting a small craft advisory beginning Sunday afternoon, that also heading into Monday. Seas tomorrow could be getting as high as 9 feet by the end of the day. Choppy conditions are expected. And notice there too, even offshore areas farther south, still going to be very, very chilly on Monday with temperatures only in the mid 50s by the afternoon. Now, once we get into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week, things begin to warm up again. This is South Mississippi after all. The cooler weather, especially in the beginning of November, typically doesn't last very long. But Monday and Tuesday, I am expecting high temperatures to only stay in the mid 50s, maybe even some low 50s for some of our inland areas on Monday. Would not be surprised at that. Now, these are low temperatures for those of us on the coast, getting close to freezing at times, it looks like. By Tuesday morning, we're certainly going to be hitting freezing for inland locations by Tuesday morning. But by the end of the week, much more mild, nowhere close to freezing by the end of the week. So again, this cold blast is going to be fairly short-lived. Just a brief update on the tropics. There's really not much to talk about. We are getting into the end of hurricane season. Thankfully, the water along the northern Gulf continuing to cool down as we get these big cold fronts to move through our area. So no new development expected in the next 7 days, which for this time of the year, that's fairly typical. Again, a hurricane season that is going to be ending on November 30th, and hopefully we can wrap up the next few weeks on a quiet note, which at least it looks like for the northern Gulf Coast, things are going to be in pretty good shape. That being said, we have put that cold alert there Monday night into Tuesday because of a very good possibility that many of us are going to be right around freezing and even below that for our inland areas. So this could very well be our first freeze of the season. So that's why we have that cold alert there. People, pets, plants need to be protected. If you live farther inland, while I don't expect that to be a widespread pipe bursting freeze, you may want to let your faucets drip overnight tonight with temperatures getting into the upper 20s at times. Veterans Day is Tuesday. It's still going to be chilly, not as breezy though at that point with highs in the upper 50s. Like I said, this cold weather, that's going to be pretty short-lived. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we are looking at high temperatures getting back into the 70s, and our morning lows are going to be well above freezing at that point. So with that being said, time now is 8:06. We will be having our 10 o'clock newscast tonight after college football, so hopefully you can join me then and the rest of our news team for the latest on our news and weather. So with that, I am going to be getting ready for our 10 o'clock show. We hope you join us at 10.